Wait, free parking downtown SLO? Just park in the new structure at Napomo and Palm. And dine at La Esquina, Mama's Meatball or Mistura. And get 2 hours of validated parking. Free parking downtown SLO. Park, eat, validate, done. Learn more at slowfreeparking.com.
You're Up and Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up and Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Happy Thursday. Back at it. Thank you so much for being Up and Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. So, gosh, lots going on in the news. We're heating up, and then it's going to cool down again. But, man, yesterday, warm. Today in the 80s, San Luis Obispo, 90s in the North County. Got a fun show today. What else has been going on? SpaceX launched a rocket this morning. Did you see that Knicks game? Oh my gosh. That Knicks game. Unbelievable. I cannot believe the Spurs effed up a lead like that. Or they have almost like 30 points at 1 or 2 pieces in the game. Unbelievable. And the way it all just came together and that crowd. I mean, they call it, what do they say? In Seattle, they call that 12th man, right? Like how the crowd in and of itself can be a part of the game. And man, the New York Knicks, that fan base yesterday, Madison Square Garden, just literally came alive. So much star power too. I mean, like celebrities all over the place. But that one last tip-in at the end, my goodness, if you missed that game, I think it was like the biggest finals comeback in league history. So crazy. A lot going on, little going on. I was going to talk about, we're about a week or so after my dad passed, and I just don't feel like I want to talk about it yet. I know at some point I will, and I did a tribute on my socials, and thank you for all the nice things that have been said there, but I feel like talking about it here, and I will soon. I know I will soon. But I'm still more in the place like, should I call his voicemail? Just to hear his voice, or it's a weird spot. And I just don't even know if talking about him here yet will help me. It'll just make it feel more final, and I'm not in that stage yet. I just am not. So I thank you for your indulgence there, but I do want to give him a tribute here. I think it's only fitting. He was on this show a few times, and man, I just miss him to death right now. So I do want to get into a fun show today, an interview and a discussion I'm super stoked about. This lady just announced her re-election campaign, but this conversation goes way beyond local politics. San Luis Obispo Mayor Erica A. Stewart will join me for the kind of chat we've always had. Part City Hall, part coffee shop, part front porch chat about the community that we call home. From downtown parking and new housing to graffiti, e-bikes, local businesses, and the challenges really still facing San Luis Obispo. We dig into what is working, what is not, and why she wants another term to help see it all through. Plus, we're going to talk about the small things that actually really say a lot about a city. The new parking structure finally open after a lot of discussion, the way residents can help shape their community with a few taps on an app that I didn't even really know about before this. And in true Up and Adam fashion, we even start with a conversation about hair because, I'm pretty metro. So Erica A. Stewart is coming up in just a few minutes on Up and Adam. Want to say thanks to my friends at the Mountain Air. Look, these folks, they support local broadcasting, and, often old days in radio, you're broadcasting there and your broadcasts are going to go out because that radio station doesn't turn off. But in new media, in independent media, you don't produce a show, that person doesn't get their ad. So I am very much, obviously cognizant of these folks who support the show. And, you take a week or so off because of things like, my dad, and then they're sending me cards. I mean, I got the sweetest card from Josh and Lindsay Herring a condolence card. It was just, and just like handwritten and so sweet and so perfect for, every once in a while, somebody will say something that you're just like, you get it. Because you tell someone, look, we ask each other how each other is all the time. How you doing? Hey there. Hi, sir. How are you? Like a customer, people people you don't know. How are you is probably said, how's your day? Probably said more than any other thing in the world, right? And we just answer it. Good, fine. Well, lately, I am not answering good and fine. I feel so weird. I'm like, look, you asked? I'm going to tell you. For better or for worse, I'm going to tell you. I was at a store. I don't want to say what it was, but I was at a store and a lady goes, hey, how's your day going? And I look at her right in the eye. I'm like, you want to know? And she smiles back so cute and goes, yeah. And I tell her what's going on. And she's just like, oh, and doesn't get awkward. I mean, I get it. It's sometimes heavy news. And you just tried to be, platitude courteous to somebody. And then they level that on you. Like, their dad dying or something, And this was as I drove up the day of, and like I'm in this store, like the day it happened. So I'm like, yeah, it happened today. And this girl was just so real, didn't pretend to have the secret thing to say. And then she goes on with the rest of my transaction. And then she looks up at me and goes, so what was your favorite part about your dad? I'm like, this girl gets it. This girl just gets it. So sweet. What a nice thing to say. And then she's fully listening. We're having a conversation, a smiling conversation about my dad who died like 13, 14 hours before. I mean, it's like, I love when people are that real and they're not like thrown off by realness. They can just roll with it and be real right back with you. So it's been really cool to have conversations like that, to get cards like from the Herrings, from Mountain Air. So as we are back on the air now, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends at the Mountain Air, because they've been doing this since 1975. And that kind of same kindness and human interaction, that human realness, that's what you get when you go into their store. Josh and Lindsay Herring. I don't know why I said John. I was looking at the word John in a news article. Josh and Lindsay Herring, they were part of it long before they took it over. And you feel it when you walk in. It's not overwhelming. It's not transactional. It's just human and it's just dialed in. A couple doors down, they have their store, The Switchback, where they buy and sell used gear. Check it out. Anything you want to get from going outdoors. They got that new like fold up kind of couch. I mean, camping has become so comfortable now. So get in there. They even do like rental stuff. Like, hey, I want to, I'm going out for the weekend. I want to get rent a Yeti cooler. Yeah, because who can afford those, right? So you can go do that there. Oh, I want a sleeping pad. Boom, go rent one for a weekend. Or you can go buy your next one. So really cool stuff. TheMountainair.com. Love them. TheSwitchback.com. Just a couple doors down. I think they're sandwiching the sushi spot there on Marsh Street. The Mountain Air, San Luis Obispo.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right. She is the mayor of San Luis Obispo. Just announced her re-election campaign. Also someone I've been fortunate enough to call a friend of this show for a long time, and off the show as well. Whether we're talking about downtown parking, housing, local businesses, public safety, or just the realities of leading a city people care deeply about. She's always bringing thoughtfulness, genuine love for this community. Today, we're going to talk about why she is running again, the state of San Luis Obispo. She just did her State of the City address, what's improving, what still needs work, and where she sees this city headed next. Welcome into the SLOCAL studios, Mayor Erica A. Stewart. It is great to have you up and Adam.
You are welcome, Adam. Thanks for having me.
I don't know if there's anybody that I would give my microphone to and take a headset for besides you. Yes. But you're having an incredible hair day.
It was a hair wash.
Yeah.
Perfect day.
I talked about what lady I fancy with this. The hair wash day.
It's a deal.
It's a really majestic day for hair.
Exactly. And also the next day is even better.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With curly hair. Oh my gosh. Because it's like just the right waves. And then sometimes if it lands kind of flat, you have to like kind of rezhuzh it up. But you can't rezhuzh it when it's already wet. It doesn't work.
Right.
So,
What is the worst climate for hair as beautiful as yours? Is it humidity, or humidity helps?
Well, not me. It does not help me.
Because the lady I fancy says, if it's humid, like
she
my hair
has
will
that
rock
beautiful wave curl.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful and humid. Mine just turns into a big poof, like I put my finger in a socket if it's humid.
Yeah.
And it's about 3 times as large. It's like the Grinch, but opposite. But
what's ideal climate?
Ideal is actually probably like the drier climate.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as it's not majorly windy. If it's windy, it doesn't matter what climate it is. It's terrible.
Yeah. Congrats on the announcement, new candidacy.
Thank you.
When are you running? Obviously not this election, but for November.
So November 28th.
Okay, got it.
I mean, no, sorry, November 26th. What am I saying?
Yeah.
This year in November, I am running. April, May is kind of the time to let people know, like, if you're an incumbent, yes, I'm running. Don't you worry, I've got you. Versus like, are they running? We don't know what's happening. Do we need to find someone? Oh, no.
Yeah.
So I remember that 2 terms ago when I ran in 22, I had been appointed in October 21 when the previous mayor stepped down.
Yeah.
And so people didn't know, though, was I actually going to run for 22? And so we decided, we got to start telling people so they know, yes, I am. I like it enough. And yes, I want to keep doing it. Mm-hmm. So that's basically why we come out this early.
Do you get wind of like, I might have an opponent, or still too early?
It's still too early. I mean, people can apply to run or put their intent to run up until April 7th. I'm sorry, August 7th. Why can I not keep everything all straight right now? August 7th. So once August 7th hits, then that's the final, close the doors. That's who's running. So we'll see. I mean, I always say, like, you don't know. People have decided to run the week before the close date. Yeah.
Well, for some reason, San Luis Obispo, and I don't know of any other area in all the places I've lived and read about, we get a cast of characters that runs every single go. Yeah. And so I'm guessing you're probably not going to be unopposed.
Right. I've never been unopposed.
Yeah. So, but at least, who knows? I guess we just don't know. We'll wait till see.
I mean, some other jurisdictions have had that. Other mayors have run and they've been unopposed, and other council members have run, especially if you have districts. So we'll see. There's always a chance.
The most unscientific barometer of, you could call it, like, what do they call it back in New York City, like the broken window law or the broken window law kind of. It's getting off on Marsh Street and seeing that graffiti right there on the thing. I love when I pull through and I see them, like, they got it again. Like, you guys went and painted over it. You made it all good. And then sure as shit, whoever's doing this, they'll go back. But we are staying, and I feel like it's good versus evil. And like, I love driving under it and seeing it, like, look, we're treating, because this really is not only an entryway into the city, a gateway, but it is for people who are coming to visit. They're like going to do the downtown farmers market. They're going to shop. Right. Like, that exit is a very important exit. It is. You do the toilet bowl, you scoop around, and you're on a straight shot into the city. Toilet bowl. I mean, I've always called those back in the day, but like, you do a straight shot into the city. Yeah. And to see that area cleaned up is just so refreshing. So
it really is. And I think a lot of it has been really helpful to have the Ask SLO. It's an app. It's also online on the website, and people can report anything they see all over the town. I mean, we're 14 square miles, and that is 135 miles of roads. That is 66 miles of hiking trails, and staff is fabulous, but they can't get to every inch of it. So when we could say, hey, by the way, did you know that, like, as we're riding our bike, the trees are hitting us in the face? We can let them know on this block to this block, can you please trim this down? Yeah. Or, hey, there's graffiti and it's increased over here. The traffic light was hit over on Orchid and Broad by an accident. And so, I checked into Ask SLO today and I said, hey, I knew it happened on a holiday weekend. Right. So when I went to go plug it in that the traffic light is down, they said, there's already a report of this. Would you like just to have an update from that report, or do you want to file a whole new one? I'm like, yeah, update from that report. That's sounds cool. Good. So it's really cool because I think that they've been able to figure out how to help our community be clean and free of cracks and trying to clean up everything they can and organize everything they can. So keep it working and maintained.
What else is going on? We have a new parking structure.
Yes, we do. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. And I have to say that even, you think of parking structure, you think of cars, but also the bikes. There is a bike storage there. My entire bike, an e-bike with like a cargo rack thing on the back, not like a cargo seat, but a cargo rack. The whole entire thing fits in my backpack, my purse, all of that. And then you could just lock it up. It's Bike Link app, super easy.
That's pretty cool.
You can see which ones are open throughout the town for that matter, which is nice.
Yeah.
But that was so cool. And I'm like, I didn't even think about that for the parking garage. Like, I know people were doing it, it was being put in, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize how convenient it was. So that's
I
kinda cool.
loved that we have, restaurant owners downtown, and I'm talking about Leonard
Yes.
and
Mistura.
Nicola.
Yes.
And they're like, let's do some free parking.
Yes.
And they negotiated a rate with the city, said, we'll buy a bunch of parking.
Right.
And then if people park in the new structure, come to eat at our place,
Validation.
we'll validate it.
Yes.
And then you can literally say, and I like to mess with AI a little bit. I was vibe coding, I vibe code.
I
bro.
know. I love it.
So I made a website called slowfreeparking.com.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen this? Go on your phone.
No. Okay. I'm going to check right now.
So go to slowfreeparking.com. I just went and saw that it was available.
Okay,
And I'm doing these ads for Leonard and
Oh, I
Nicola.
love that. Yes.
Both on this show, and I did some local media buying with Dimes. And in a 15-second ad, I can't say La Esquina, Mistura, Mama's Meatball.
Yeah.
So I was just like, here are
I
the
see it.
restaurants.
Ooh, that's cool.
I literally told Claude, here's what I want. And it made me a code.
What?
Yeah, and I made
this
that
is
website.
amazing.
I know, it's pretty sick.
Wow.
Totally made that in an hour.
And all delicious restaurants. I was
it's really
just there
cool. I know.
actually after my launch. We went over to Mama's Meatball with my
Aw.
family and some friends. And
We just had him on the show. He's great.
oh, did you?
I love
Oh.
Nicola. He's
And
great.
the food was so good, and it's such a great environment. And I love the creamery too. We stopped over at Club Bubbly. Have you
Love that,
had
of course.
the lemon secco?
No.
Oh my gosh, this is our new fave for summer. It is like Meyer lemons with prosecco,
Yeah.
and it's not sweet. It's just a little bit refreshing.
Is
and
it one
was
bottle,
lovely.
or you're adding
One
lemons
bottle.
to
It's
it?
already in it. It's already in it. Yeah, it's
That sounds really
reasonably
good.
priced, and I
Yeah.
love Club Bubbly. They're just the nicest people.
Yeah,
and
Tracy's great.
Another local owned, and
I know.
just really great to support. So,
Yeah. So who knew we can now say free parking downtown Slow
I know.
when you go, and who knows, maybe more restaurateurs will see this,
Yeah.
and they can work with the city and say, we'll buy some parking.
It's great because it works for retail. It works for any local business, and it's cheaper for the local business.
Do you know what they
and it's a
did?
great perk.
Did they kind of like negotiate some sort of like price, or is it something that they can like, you guys can like carbon copy and do for everyone, or?
We've had this parking validation program for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But we were able to update it for what the needs were of the downtown businesses that were, frustrated with parking right now or in
Right.
the last couple of years. And so
Mhm.
it was really great to be able to work with them directly and be like, okay, so how can we make this program even better for you? And that was what we really got the feedback
Mhm.
from, which was really nice. And I mean, they even hosted the downtown business meeting in the creamery. So I think that, that end of town for literally over 20 years has been like, hey, could we have some parking over here?
Right.
And so while the downtown parking conversation was a challenge, realistically, this parking structure has been wanted for well over 20 years. I think when they actually selected the site, it was almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
That was a wild moment to see. So it's something that people have needed and wanted
Must
for a
felt
long time.
so good to see that finally be done.
Oh, so good. And so great to have all the fencing down. And,
Yeah.
it's just, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
What is the state of Slow right now? You obviously want to run again. This
Yes,
is an
yes.
exciting time for you. Where I guess the question is, where do you feel, I just don't feel like my job's quite done.
yeah. Well, I think that I get to hear about everything almost weekly that's happening in our community, right? And if I haven't heard for a while, like, can we have an update on X? I haven't seen that for a little bit. And I think as we're getting ready to have updates on, Cal Poly today, as we talk about our safe housing and we talk about noise and livability in the neighborhoods, Cal Poly will be there at the meeting today to answer questions and share what they're doing. And so I get these updates, and it's not like some exciting backroom deal. It's just literally we get updates pretty regularly because we're trying to figure out what's working, what's not working.
Yeah.
Where do we have to put staff at different times? I mean, we're walking into commencement the 12th through the 14th of June for Cal Poly. So, our team's trying to make sure they're where they need to be, and we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I look at it, and I looked at the first couple of pages after I got through, like, the welcome for me and the welcome from the city manager, which is always a little weird to see. Like, you're like, there's my picture. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a few words from me. I'm still a little bit like, oh, wow, that's me. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I open the couple of pages in, and it's like these quick little infographic of what's happening, right? And that's where I always remember, like, the 135 miles of road and thinking about how do we clean that and how to maintain those, and how do we pave what was the most important tier 1 roads to pave. But we have 23,000 and change doors. And so that is housing units, whether it's apartments, whether it's condos, whether it's ADUs, accessory dwelling units, previously known as granny units.
Yeah.
And then, like, full-on single-family homes, townhomes, everything, right? Well, when I thought back to it, I'm like, wait, just last year we had 22,000. So I mean, there are these great moves and great changes that like as things come open, we're seeing these little things. We do ribbon cuttings, we do grand openings, but when you really see it all pulled together, it is such a great thing. I mean, Maxine Lewis and her legacy there at the Grove. I mean, it's Welcome Home Village opens this year. There's just so much we're doing to help people who are unhoused, people who are, struggling financially, and then full on fair market value units. There are, I think, another 1,000 affordable homes or units are due to be open over the next 5 years. So we have things in place.
Yes.
And I think for me, like wanting to see those things come to fruition because, it'll still happen whether I'm mayor or not, but I want to be part of how do we continue to put everything around that housing. Okay, are we advocating for more supportive services? Do we need to go up to Sacramento and talk to our legislators, talk to other cities? What are you doing? What are the best practices? How can we bring that back to the city? And we have mobile crisis unit, a community action team. We have our housing team staff members, and we have our great nonprofit partners that we work closely with. And we're really making a difference on how do we help people who are unhoused find housing, find help, get reunified with their family, all of these things.
Right,
we've made
way.
some great strides.
Yeah.
And as we see the budget being cut, or not cut, but reduced because we're not getting as much funding from the state and federal government, I'm concerned around how do we keep everything moving forward. And so to me, I'm looking at how do we get creative? How do we think out of the box? How do we partner with people? How do we collaborate? So I feel like there's a little more work to be done that I'd like to be part of still on continuing to reduce people who have to experience homelessness. I still want to see how do we reduce that? How do we get more people housed? How do we help? But also, how do we help our businesses thrive? We did a lot over these last couple of years. We're still doing the holiday buy program where we purchase gift cards from local businesses.
Buy local bonus.
Yeah, the buy local
Love
bonus
it.
program. And we plan to continue that. And I want to make sure we are. We've been helping businesses thrive also through different diversity grants. For example, some people were like, I'd love to translate my menu, but I don't speak Spanish. How am I going to do that?
Right.
So we were able to give them a little grant so
That's cool.
they could go and translate it. So I think there's things that we're just trying to help businesses be successful. And that's something I want to make sure that continues to happen. I think, I've owned two businesses, and I know that feeling when if the doors don't open and people don't come through those doors and buy the things you sell for the amount of cost each day, you're not going to be able to pay your bills.
Sure.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling. And so I want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to help our local businesses thrive. And that means listening, and that means coming to solutions that work. I think that parking validation is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, I do love seeing little things like this. And I love looking at just little wins like that. And to me, they stack up. Or we talked about the under the freeway and the graffiti, or we talk about, or like the
public art.
Yeah, the public art. I think, right, with the traffic circles, those look beautiful.
Yeah.
Or the only thing I don't like is that piece of art that you drive in on Marsh. It looks like a hammer and sickle.
The tall, the world
I think that's
coming
ugly.
together.
Yeah,
thing.
I think that's ugly.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion.
It's hard. It's hard because every public art is one of those things, or art is one of those things where just different people like it, different people don't.
But I love seeing, but there's so many little wins. Like I'm seeing more people fill the 4 lease signs on downtown.
Yes.
We have a dog park that I love. So when we see these things, I honestly, like we talk about the unhoused, and I've been having different supervisorial candidates in here.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not, because we know each other personally, I'm not completely of the ilk that this is a affordable housing issue. I think it's also it's
so many things.
It's a mental health and also a drug addiction issue. And when I'm on the corner of Marsh and Higuera and someone's banging on my window at a red light, like that's not the single mom who's got, who just got laid off. But I do feel like visually, this is a problem that is getting better. I'm noticing things less. Like when aspects just from like a anecdotal observational thing seemingly get better, you're like, okay, this is cool. Like someone's listening. We're doing our thing a little bit.
And data wise, it's 40% down.
That's great.
With the last point in time count
huge.
From 2 years ago. So I mean, it's real, and it's also perception. And I think both of those things are important.
Right.
And I would say, and it's your experience, right? So is everything perfect? No, of course not.
No, sure.
But we're working on it. And I think that's the thing, is that I feel like each step is a positive step. sometimes you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
Well,
of
right.
course,
Think of like those
right?
big parking lots out there on Kansas, or the things where like people where they just turn into like, well, this is turning into like an essence that we don't really think is safe.
So
we got to figure it out, right? Yeah. So I think that noticing things and acting on them is super smart, and it's great to see when your town, where you live, is looking at those things.
Yeah,
you know,
and I
for
think
sure.
even like, you know, we just had our Vision Zero traffic safety plan meeting 2 weeks ago. No, last week. This month we've ended up having 3 meetings out of 4 weeks, which usually we have 2. So I'm like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we're having some extra special meetings too, is we're trying to tackle a lot more than we typically even do in a year. And that's been really ramping up over these last few years. And so I'm really hoping that we can come to some conclusions and get kind of not over the top all the time. But I do think that what we do, and I talk to students about this, I talk to seniors about this, I talk to people of all ages, which is, we do listen, so please let us know what's going on, whether it's through the Ask SLO app or whether it's an email. I saw someone the other day, we get hundreds of emails. And when we have meetings back to back like this, I just, I don't respond to them all, but I definitely read them because I want to read them so I'm ready for the meeting.
Yes.
But if I stop and say, thank you for sending it to me, then, I will only get to like half of them.
Right.
So I saw someone the day downtown when I was getting ready for the launch. I was at Farmers and I said, oh yeah, thank you for your email. I told him, what we had done. And he's like, oh, you actually read it? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm like, right, of course. And so it's just like, we read these because we want to make the changes and we want to bring the questions. I try really hard to bring questions, even if they're not of my opinion. I look at it and go, okay, well, I don't really agree with that, but I want to bring it to the dais and ask the question so people can hear the answer. And even if in the end I agree or don't agree, at least I'm bringing it to the conversation. And I think that's really important.
These, the road diets, the bike lanes, not the hugest fan of them all, but look, I know what we're trying to go for and stuff. But what's changing are these electrical bikes.
Yeah.
They go like 25, 30 miles an hour. And I'm parking my car on Marsh to get a haircut at the parlor. And like you're at this sidewalk thing and then you got to walk over the bike lane and you can't hear this dude going.
You got to look both ways.
And it's like, dude, you just went like 30 miles an hour in a bike lane.
Yeah.
Should these things be considered like you got to be on the road?
They're not supposed to be.
Oh,
so that's actually, I just signed a letter today.
We do like these executive orders.
Right? We just I signed a letter today supporting 3 bills, actually 4 bills. This is a problem. There are people who have electric bikes that are basically motorcycles.
Sure.
And those are not, motorcycles should not be in the bike lane. And there are people who actually have e-bikes that are going, 18 miles an hour, and then they can
recently. It's a horrible story.
Yeah, it is.
It's horrible.
And so we're trying to get the speeds down. And then also there are electric bikes that, 30, 35, that's a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Also, you have to be wearing a helmet with that, even as an adult. So one of the things that our police team is, they're like, look, those get taken right away. If they're in the bike lane, they're going to be getting a ticket. They might even get their bike taken away because it's not really a bike. So you got to really know what's legal, what's not. And there's plenty of information out there. Please get educated.
Yeah. I want to know what's legal in those bike lanes.
Yeah. Basically, it's about 18, 19 is when it tops out.
Okay.
So if they're going faster than that, it's probably either been played with a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
From another area, maybe. And so we're trying to make sure what's sold in the US and what's sold in California, as far as these legislation pieces, bring the speed down.
It's hard with the new technology because like I'll be at Costco and I see this thing up on the rack. I'm like, that kind of looks pretty sick. It looks like a it's got like a little, like it lays low like a hog, and but it's just an electrical bike.
Yeah. Well, if you are on your own private property, you can totally play with that, and that's fun and that's awesome. You just can't be on the streets with it. So that's,
you can't.
No. So that's the difference, is that there's just like you can't ride a typical motorcycle on the bike lane.
Right.
You can't ride this on the bike lane.
What if you're like going at a low speed? Like what if you're riding this e-bike you got at Costco, it goes 25, but you're just rocking it at 15, or it's what the bike can do. It's measured by what the bike can do.
No, there's different classes of bikes. I don't have that memorized, but there's different classes of like what it's allowed to do, that bike. And so certain bikes can be in the bike lane, certain ones cannot when talking about those e-bikes and the different levels.
Yeah.
So some are considered really classified as a motorcycle.
Well, sure.
And so those cannot be in there. And then there's another version.
And all these kids are rocking them too. Like this is like the cool shit to get for Christmas now.
Right.
Like your parents get you like this sick e-bike.
Right. And if you have, again, if you have space, you have property, you have a place you can go ride it around, that's awesome. If you don't, though, I hope that the parent knows where they can ride it or not and lets their kid know.
Yeah. I remember
also, if you're under 18, you got to have that helmet on.
Yeah.
You got to have the helmet on.
I remember wanting a skateboard when I was a kid, and my mom like decked me out in so much stuff that it just made it like not even
Michelin
fun.
Man.
Yeah,
like,
no,
this is
totally.
not
Like
fun.
I'm like, it's like helmet, elbow, wrist guard, shin.
Right,
and then I was just like, screw this. I'm like, and then I negotiate with her. I go, what if I sit on my butt and just like go down hills? And she go, okay, that's fine. So then I do it, and then of course I skid out, get a giant raspberry on my thigh or my butt, and I'm like, forget the skateboard, I'm over it. You know,
never mind.
So, but some of these things, like you have to be all, you know, and that's just a skateboard going whatever 8, 9, 10, 12 miles an hour. Now it's like you're going. These kids are with the ability to go super fast.
I know. It's a little wild, I have to say, and I mean, I want people to be on their bikes if they want to use a bike, if they want to walk, if they want a scooter, you know, whatever that is. But yeah, you have to do it safely. No matter what you're doing, is try to get people to be around safely. I mean, we had, you know, in the last 5 years, as of 2 weeks ago, we had 19 deaths and, you know, 19 deaths on bikes. And we're just like this, we have to do something to keep people safer. And if that means we have to go just a little bit slower, we're not asking for people to take it from 45 down to 25 in their speeds in our cars. We're just saying, well, maybe we could take it down 5.
When you notice that and you're looking at the stats, and you might not even know this on the top of your head, are those like the 19? Are those mostly the bicyclist's fault? Are they mostly the car people's fault?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but most of them were the car's fault.
It?
Yeah, it wasn't the bike.
Right.
And I think, you know, partially too, when you look at those, it's sometimes people aren't looking fully, right? When they're in their car, there might be if you just have to kind of like swerve into the other lane a little bit, you know, I mean, there's all these things that we're trying to help. Okay, let's look at what do humans do and how do we prevent for that versus just saying, well, humans shouldn't run over to this side, so they shouldn't go over the lane because they're in a car. Well, let's talk about if they do, the kind of damage it would be to a person in a wheelchair, a scooter, a bike. You know, I mean, you have people that are in motorized wheelchairs. This is how they get around. Right.
I also wonder too, you look at like in your rear view mirror, your side view mirror, you see a person on a bike, your mind goes like, you kind of compute how fast they can reach you, but that computation is different now,
right?
Because now they're moving at almost double the speed,
right?
So it's like you got to be super careful.
Are you going down a grade? Are you going up a grade? You know, what does that look like? And so if we can just put a little bit of a blocking, a little bit of a curb, or a little bit of planter, or whatever that looks like, so that maybe if you're going to swerve into that lane, you might hit that instead of a person and kill them. That would be better yes, it would damage the car. I get that, but if we go a little slower, we're hopefully not going to be touching that planter, right? The other part we're doing, though, I think is really important. Something I've been always a fan of is kind of the pilot programs, right? Let's see what works. And if it doesn't work, let's take it out at not the full cost and the full build out. Yeah, Grand Avenue is a great example of that. It's able to be flexible. They're able to either take out the bollards and help when it's move-in time and then put them back in so you have the safer area for people. Because right there, you've got Teach School, you've got Slow Classical Academy, you've got Cal Poly. And so everyone's, you know, using all different forms of transportation and all of these projects also help for us walking around too. The curb plates get put in, the cracks are smoothed over, the smoother grade for being able to step on and off the curbs, you know, so all of these things are actually helping every form of mobility, which is really nice too. Yeah. So just wanting to see us be able to get around our town more safely.
Yeah. Safely, easily. Yeah. What are some of the things that you feel like, oh, we're still not done with this? Like, this is still something I really feel we haven't quite conquered.
Of course, housing, right? Like, I mean, you can't without it. But I do think as we're talking about these collaborations, it's tough. It's tough to get everyone to come into a room and agree and have these compromises. But I think one of the things that we've seen is when we do that, things go so much better and they create a better result. So I think as we talk about I started talking about earlier, that mobile crisis unit. So we have money from opioid settlement for trying to stop people from getting hurt from overdoses. That was to the county. The county was able to help provide services with our licensed psych techs. So we are able to have licensed psych techs out with our social workers and with our police officer or EMTs from the fire. So as you see these mobile crisis units and community action teams, these are people that are coming together in partnership. And I think that's part of what, as we are a overall SLO community in a region, that's something that we will, I think, see more of, is how do we come together in partnership to be able to solve some of these bigger issues? Because no one knows the border when they're walking from Avila or, riding a bike from Avila to SLO to Atascadero to Santa Margarita. Like, people just go in our entire county. They go to work, they go to play. It's all the things. And so we should be working on these things together.
How was the big announcement for the candidacy at Farmers and stuff?
It was good. It's pretty mellow. I think, again, coming out this early, like, they don't know who's running against you yet.
Yeah. Do they think, like, am I supposed to vote for you in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, a couple people did, but I'm like, no, we're good. It's just a picture moment. We can't even put out our signs yet. Don't worry. But
do people ask you for endorsements with all these people running?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had people asking for endorsements even like a year ago. People started running. Yeah, because some people have to put out there.
Do you like to do that? Do you want to do that? Or how do you?
I mean, I think when I see people that I appreciate and I think they're going to do a great job, I want to get that endorsement to them as soon as I can. Sometimes it's like, I'd love to see more as far as what they're going to say they're going to do and what all the other candidates are going to do. Mm-hmm. So it is a debate sometimes, like how early to come out and say who I would endorse or not. I think right now, as we talk about this, you get to vote for one and elect two this November with the newer City of SLO voting. So, I look at it as like, if you vote for Michelle or if you vote for Emily, either one I think will be great. So I'm hoping so I did go ahead and put my endorsement out for both of them. I don't know who else is going to run, but I think that right now we're in the middle of trying to figure out with, reduced budgets, how are we going to achieve all the things that we've been trying to achieve? And so I'd love to have some people that have experience with that. So we'll see who else comes out and go from there.
How do you ever think of, like, I just spent so much time interviewing all these supervisorial candidates.
Yeah.
Do you ever think of, like, going like up a level, or like, oh, maybe I should do this, or how does that,
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
In 28, I'll be termed out. So, you can't help not thinking about it. And then I also just think about, well, I could also have my Tuesdays back and not have to read 700 pages for in a week.
Right.
So, or maybe 700 pages of something fun. So there's, I kind of go back and forth on that and what will happen next. It's also an interesting landscape as it's all unfolding in front of you is, so who's exactly going to run? People put their papers in and they say they're going to run and what's going to happen and what they would do as a candidate. And I get it. As a candidate, the first time I ever ran for city council, I wanted to make all this different change. I want to do these different things. And then you realize, oh, there's rules. The state says you can only do this, this, and this, or the state is telling us you must do this, this, and this. And so seeing these different rules coming out or regulations or compliance that we have to make sure we're managing, it does hinder things, or where money comes from. We need bigger ridership to be able to get more buses. I wanted to get more buses ASAP, get that frequency up. And it takes a while. And so, seeing that when you really kind of unfold things, what can you make change on and what just takes longer than you would like?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's so interesting. The whole idea, but that if you thought about it, would you go like, oh, maybe assembly or maybe supervisor? Do you even know?
I don't know yet. Again, so in 28, Senator Laird also terms out. So does Assembly Member Addis, does she go for Senate? Does she stay running for Assembly? What happens there? I live in District 3. There's already two people that are running in District 3. So we'll see. Oh,
against Dawn?
No. Oh, Dawn was running again, Ortiz Lake.
Oh, right.
So, it's like, are you going to run against an incumbent? Who
right.
knows,
Yeah.
So I think it's just, we'll see how it all lays out and what happens. Yeah. So sometimes it's the right move to run against someone. And then sometimes it's like, well, they're doing all the right things that you would want to do. So why?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
God, so many decisions.
I know. It's a lot to think about.
I think and I always tell these people, especially at the supervisor level, like, the asking for money and then the articles about you and then do I get this endorsement and blah blah blah.
Well, people think that you're just wanting all this money. And it's like, well, do you know how much it costs to mail a mailer? It's, I mean, just like 4 years ago was $14,000, and not even to mail.
Oh my gosh!
To mail a postcard, like a little oversized postcard, to not even the entire city.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was like I think I took it down to like voters who are most eligible to vote or something like that.
Yeah.
Are most likely to vote.
So like companies that you just go, hey, I want to. Like I literally want to mail every person in SLO or every
so much money.
person of this party or every person of not a party. Like you just can choose who you.
Yeah, you can choose what you want to do
So
and how the data is dissected.
Yeah,
it costs a lot of money to mail. I mean, even with bulk mail, it costs a lot of money to mail. And then you gotta do the website and the social media and all these things.
Yeah.
And
let me vibe code it.
Yeah,
I'll
there
vibe
you go.
Code your
Yes.
website. Yeah.
Well, people are like, oh, that's just free. That's easy. I'm like, yeah, it's time. And so
For sure.
It's one person probably could do it. And think about how much time you've spent vibe coding. You're now a really solid expert, but think about when you first started, that wasn't yesterday.
No, sure. Right. Yeah.
And you learned how to perfect and perfect and perfect. So now if someone's like, hey, will you just do this for me real quick? You're like, how much time that's going to take.
Right.
And you have to figure out, well, I have to actually understand your vibe. I have to understand what your colors are and what you want to do with it. And what the audience is. And you have to really analyze all that. And that takes a lot of time. So, I do work with some students, high school and college, Cuesta and Cal Poly and AG and SLO. I've worked with different students through the years and love helping them get more experience of what to do on a campaign or what to do on an actual kind of team, on my mayor's team. But either way, it's continuing to work with people and teach them and help them work through.
How's you're teaching still at Cal Poly, right?
Yeah. So I'm teaching Public Speaking 101. We are in week 9. So we have 2 more weeks and then finals.
Yeah.
So,
and then finals are what, like speeches to you or something?
Finals will be a reflective paper with an analyzation of another speech. Yeah. So that's where it gets time consuming, but it's good.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see, what their reflection has been. Sometimes people are very self-reflective and kind of analyze things. Sometimes they're just like, yep, it's done. So it just depends on how it is. But I'm like, yeah, I know you want to be done, but you still have to actually reflect in a way that matches with the book and what we're talking about in communication.
I got to talk to your class again. That was fun.
Yes, I know.
I
hope you come do that in fall.
Yeah.
Because we'll be on semester, so we have plenty of extra time.
Right. Yeah. That's a new thing, huh?
Yeah. We'll be going back. Teachers go back August 14th, and I'm not sure I think we start back either the 17th or the 24th. I'm not sure. Wow versus school starting. I always get this kind of mixed up in my head. But
tell me, when you go to farmers market, how do you attack it? Do you go get something to eat? Do you go walk through the produce?
So I have very specific plans when I go to farmers market. It just depends. So every time, 90% of the time, it consists of me going to G Brothers and getting kettle corn. Let's just start with that. But every so often, I have to go over to Botanicals because they have some great local face products, and they also have like the shampoo without any packaging, which is kind of cool. So I try to get a few things there. But it depends if it's a produce day or a non-produce day. Because if it's a produce day, I'm going to the produce last because I don't want to walk around with like strawberries and broccoli or whatever. But then if it's a non-produce day, then I have to decide which food I'm going to get. And are you there with other friends and people or just there with yourself? Because it's like, different. I did try a mac and cheese that was over by Farrell. It was quite tasty. My son came with me and we were like, he's like, you got to try this. I'm like, okay. I'm not really like a white cheddar mac and cheese person, but it was very tasty. Tri-tip on top. So good. So, it kind of just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Do you have the giant scissors in your closet at home?
I wish.
For when you do ribbon cuttings?
I wish. So, no, there's 2 different versions. So I have one with the city and one often with the chamber, because the chamber, they have a whole thing.
Who's got better scissors?
Well, I mean, the chambers are more fun.
Yeah.
And it's giant.
Yeah, that's what I love. Yeah, for sure.
The cities ones are more medium, but they actually cut ribbon.
Oh.
Where the ribbon cutting from the Chamber of Commerce is a little more
of a prop.
reusable and
Yeah.
fun in that sense. But yeah, it's a prop. It's
Yeah.
Velcro and you
Yeah.
pull.
Oh, got it.
But you know, with the city one, you get to roll up that ribbon and take it as like this is a good
that's pretty
memento.
cool.
So you know, there's good ways of both.
You
but
must get asked to do a lot of stuff.
we do.
Like, I want
We
you for this, or
do.
be a judge at this. Or,
Yes, I mean, like you know, it's speaking to students, speaking to professionals, speaking to nonprofits, speaking to
Yeah.
seniors. Then you know, ribbon cuttings, grand openings, that kind of thing. Done some judging of food or different events, which has been some fun. And then, of course, coming and talking to people and hearing from them. What do they think about a certain issue?
Yeah.
But then it's a lot of the other meetings too, which is like, okay, so what do you want to do on the street? What do you want to do on the street? So talking to each person and then bringing everyone together. Because if you bring everyone together first, you don't have any of your paperwork, your research that you need. You know, well, which staff person should we have to actually talk about how we can solve this issue?
Yeah.
Which, you know, is this a state issue? Is it a county issue? Is it a city issue? Because sometimes people contact me from CMC. Oh, this thing happened at the prison. I'm like, that's not my world.
Right.
So trying to make sure that, like, as I'm meeting with people, understanding what's in the city's purview and what's beyond and who needs to be at the table. So there's a lot of that too. So yeah, it's a lot of hours, but I like it overall. It's trying to make a difference, and that I think requires hearing a lot of different people and knowing what we can do.
I'm excited. The SLO Art Museum
Me
is
too.
having a
Oh my
really
gosh.
big glow up. That's going to be cool. I think it's going to be great for downtown. It's going to
Me
be great
too.
for the culture of the city. It's a big, footprint. Let's
Yes.
fill it.
It's a huge footprint.
Mhm.
And then it's like, it's the perfect, kind of point. We have like the Mission and the Museum of Art, Mission Plaza. And then you just kind of go out in a giant triangle.
Yeah.
And you've got, museum, and you've got the museum, Children's Museum. You've got the SLO Rep in the future. You've got the History Museum. I mean, and then when there's like a fair or a festival, it's Mission Plaza out through the entire dogleg of Broad Street.
Yeah.
So I think, when you look at the downtown concept plan, if you ever take a look at that, just go online. It's like where we see the city keep kind of going forward. And I think the Museum of Art fit in so perfectly. They're like, this is one of the visions. It's one of our vision. It's perfect to happen now. And the fact that like the owners are working with them on that property, donors have come about, and like this has been a conversation in this city for decades about Museum of Art needs a bigger place and a place where more people can be seen. And then, but then there's also the local pop-up, like the Bunker, they change out the art locally. There's the public art. There's the box art. We have the new mural over by C.L. Smith. And, I just love that, this community, the more that people get to kind of express themselves, but also you can walk around and just enjoy that beauty too.
I'm a fan of murals.
Me too.
I like the murals.
Me too.
And I think what Leanne and the team over there at the art museum, the way they're painting that whole building up, it's been really cool.
I know, and I love like the window coverings too. It looks like the mural, and
it's cool.
Yeah, they've done a great job. So yeah.
There's just a lot of ways where like the city has made a lot of improvements over the last. It makes me happy because I saw where things were before, and it's just like it was really tough. And then what happens is you have places like Paso or even the Tascadero who they're not stopping.
No,
like
they're not stopping.
All they're doing is kicking ass.
Yes.
And then the thing is, from a culinary perspective, I'm a big lover of the hospitality industry. Like the one thing that I never want to see SLO do, especially being the county seat, is fall behind.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, we the beauty of our entire county is we have delicious food and delicious restaurants and wineries and distilleries.
Producers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, everywhere. I was just somewhere recently, weirdly in Napomo, and it was like, this new yogurt place is coming up. It's just everywhere you go. I know. I don't know. There's an interesting little gelato war going on in Choro Street. I don't understand that, but it's not my business. But I will say that it's been fun because I have some friends that swear by the one next to Bulls, Gemolato, I think it is.
Yeah.
I also love that Tifa has coffee and it's open past 3. You want to go to an afternoon meeting? I have nowhere to go.
That's true.
Finally, Tifa opened. I'm like, yes, because most of the coffee shops, they close by 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like in the entire city.
Totally.
So I am so thankful that Tifa is open because I'm like, yes, I have somewhere else I can go and share a peanut butter chocolate cookie or get some gelato or get
Let's
some.
Let's really put you on the spot. Let's talk of some of our favorite coffee spots. I like Cetrico's Peaks. I like Scout. I love the Bunker.
I love so many of those locations. But what I really love Corazon Cafe.
I love them.
They have this, was it Mazapan latte?
Yeah.
Have you had that little candy?
Tosca latte, I think
Yeah,
it's called.
is that what it's called? Okay, I thought that was the corn one.
Oh, maybe it's worth it's at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So good. That is like my favorite.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
Corazon
I love the honey bowl over at Stewart. That's one of my favorite things.
We love those too.
And then, you know, good cappuccino or just a good black coffee, ice cold brew. I mean, we've got a Black Horse, which I absolutely love. I love the Bunker. I mean, we've just got so many great places. But also, have you been over to Caffeine?
No.
Oh my gosh, over on the end of Monterey as you're headed out of town in a sense, or north, or whatever that is. Anyway, so you know, you've got Field Day, which is fun. They've got this interesting like tonic espresso drink at Field Day, which is really good. But if you go to Caffeine, I mean, they always have a different variety of flavor that is like a flavor you'd go, why is that a flavor together? And it's delicious.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I encourage you to check it out. It's you know, it's always seasonal.
Yeah,
and
that's fun.
I feel like they always have a fun matcha and fun ice something. So I love that.
Yeah. What was I going to say? There was a Field Day. There's what was another new place I was just going to bring up too? We were talking coffee.
I haven't been to the newer one that is the old gas station, the old wine station.
Oh, Ascendo?
Yeah. I haven't been there since they moved from downtown, so I do need to go visit.
The gal who does Linnaeus? Is it Linnaeus?
Oh, the Slodega soon. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, what's that? No, I'm thinking Rusty Quirk does the Villain Bakery.
They don't do the Villain Bakery, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was them too.
That's them. So
my gosh.
So what's going on with that is like, I haven't checked it out, but I see the Instagram and anytime something is like that hot, I almost like get turned off by it because
I don't want to wait an hour.
I'm not going to wait. I'm not
treat.
going to like be at the arcade waiting around the corner for a pastry.
No, but I will say that I'm really excited that they're going to be opening up the Slodega in the Mission Plaza. So, you know, there's a brand new beautiful bathrooms.
Oh, yes.
And then there's that beautiful kiosk. So that kiosk is going to have breakfast, lunch, little treats. I believe they're going to have wine and beer as well. And so now that they have that kiosk, because the construction is done from the city part, they're now going to do their tenant improvements and make it their little place. And
good
so
for them. That's
you
great.
come over to, you know, concerts in the plaza or some other event happening downtown, and then just pop over there, grab something to eat.
Money over there. Good for her.
Know,
She's
right?
talented.
She's so good.
They're very good.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for what they're doing there. So
well, look, so much fun. Congrats on the candidacy.
Thank you so much,
Erica. Thank you so much for coming in. Always love chatting. And we'll have to have you in again soon.
Yes, please do. It'll be great. I can't wait to just kind of like wrap up the year and share about the state of the city. So we'll make sure you get that video just for fun of it and, you know, wondering while you're drinking your tea what was happening. Okay.
Well, I know I kept you far longer than I was supposed to. Time just left me, so I hope I didn't make you late to your next
I got 7 minutes. I'm getting there.
All right, see you. Thank you very much for being Up and Adam.
Thank you.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Mayor Erica A. Stewart, always good to see you. If you want to learn more about city projects, upcoming city council meetings, a report, or maybe you want to report an issue going on through the Ask SLO program or the app, links in the show notes, everything there. Check it out. And thanks to the mayor for hanging out and being here as always. All right, I will touch on it because we chatted about it in the interview. Quick PSA, if you have been saying, I don't want to go downtown because the parking sucks, well, we fixed it. Parking in the new Cultural Arts District parking structure at Napomo and Palm. You can then head to La Esquina, Mama's Meatball, or Mistura. They will validate your parking for 2 hours for free. And yeah, that's right. Free parking downtown SLO. Whether it's tacos and margs at La Esquina, maybe pasta and meatballs at Mama's, or those bold Peruvian flavors at Mistura, your parking is covered. Park, eat, validate, done. That's me checking it all off. Get the full details. Go to slowfreeparking.com. That's slowfreeparking.com. I also got to give another shout out to another Up and Adam supporter, Benny's Pizza. Alex, who with everything going on said, hey, we want to, my wife and I want to deliver you guys a Benny's lasagna for, with everything. Because when you're grieving and things are going on, you're not cooking, you're barely even eating. So they brought us over to Benny's lasagna, and we've given this as gifts, like when people have babies or, but when you're grieving, this is perfect because that lasagna for Lady I Fancy and I fed us for literally days, like almost a week. We ate, a little piece of lasagna here and there. It was just so awesome. The lasagna is the best ever. I get the meat one, super good. Of course, Betty's known for their Detroit-style pizza, that thick, crispy, pan-fried sauce on top, on bottom. It doesn't matter. Get it wherever you want. Flavor is still in every bite. Great lunch specials. Great happy hour specials. Check them out. Upper Monterey, 1601 Monterey Street, San Luis Obispo, 439-3838. Call them up, put an order in, 439-3838. Benny's Pizza. It's not just where you eat. It is where you land. All right. Thank you for listening to, and thank you for supporting. Anyone you hear us talk about, Life Elements, Benny's Pizza, Mountain Air, the slow free parking, if you could just go show them a little love, even if it's just following them, something for free. Hey, I'm following you, heard you on Up and Adam. Letting them know you heard them on Up and Adam is absolutely free. And I'm telling you, it helps us eat over here for sure. And it helps these businesses who are just local businesses trying to do their thing. And they're supporting local broadcasting and new media. So it's really important. Thank you so much in advance for that. Well, I want to thank our friends Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. Stream them wherever you get your music, or you can learn more, moonshinercollective.com. This show now recorded at SLO Studios in the heart of San Luis Obispo County, California. SLO, baby, where the wine is world class, the people are real, and life is too beautiful to rush. For turns well taken, visit slocal.com. That's SLOCAL, slocal.com. Till tomorrow, where it will be Friday, baby. Cannot wait. I'm Adam Montiel. Thank you again for being Up and Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again.